The dust is slowly settling following last Saturday's terror attack at the Westgate Mall that plunged the country into mourning. But it's time to review the performance of the country's security agencies and ask the hard questions. As soon as the terrorists struck, it was the National Police Service and civilians with licensed firearms that swung into action and engaged the gunmen as they rescued shoppers and traders who were in the mall at the time of the attack. But after hours of battling the terrorists, members of the elite Reke squad and other formations of the National Police Service were asked to make way for a specialized team from the Kenya Defence Forces, a move that was reported to have angered the law enforcers as they claimed to have secured over 70% of the building and were closing in on the attackers. These, according to security experts, could have been the turning point that worked to the terrorists' favor.
That takeover, you see that moment of taking over? I have no information, but I'm imagining if it was not cordial, then there was a bit of lapse in engaging the terrorists. Because if the cops were not happy, which we know they were not happy, and the meter was coming in, so that lapse of disengagement to hand over this operation to the military created a lapse.
I believe that the Westgate is going to be I'll call it a bitter lesson, but no doubt to have its own, to give the security forces some good lessons to be able to work out contingencies so that they'll be in the future they'll be more prepared to be able to handle any threat which may come.
The sensitivity of the Westgate operation is yet another aspect security experts say could have informed the deployment of personnel and the issuance of instructions with the twin task of evacuating the hostages and cornering the terrorists.
Now, what we saw there, and I speak from knowledge, there was total lack of coordination.
When the police moved out of the place, they probably advised to keep out of the premises to have the KDF undertake the operation. And I believe the Kenya Defence Forces took the appropriate action, because if they were to operate jointly, together, side by side with the police, there would have been other problems. Obviously, because they had not, the military is trained to undertake operations. They do rehearsals, including the parades. There's no time they'll do a parade without any rehearsals. And when they go to war, you find they have rehearsed, they have taken all the precautions, and they have various stages of the plan A, B, C, D, and whatever, and what they are going to do as they move into location.
And as the country smarts from the Westgate Mall terror attack, the threat of future attacks is real.
If we had a national strategic security plan, it talks of how this country will deal with insecurity issues as they come. You plan, you say, if we have an attack, a terrorist attack. I'm trying to explain now what I mean. For example, if it's a terrorist attack, this is how we are going to deal with it. The military, for example, will take charge, the police will assist, and the command of this operation will be under a military commander. So that the moment we have an attack, then every security organ in this country, including even the civilian departments in this country, know their responsibilities and roles.
However, these, according to Major General retired Mwanzia, would require joint training sessions of all the security agencies to handle such situations, as well as timely implementation of actionable intelligence provided by the National Spy Agency.
Unfortunately, the attacks, the trend is showing that they are increasing. And as they increase, we need to, as Kenyans, we should not look at the security forces as if they are the ones who have the monopoly of fighting the terrorism. It should be the responsibility of every Kenyan to come up with information. If you see anything suspicious, you should be able to report to the authorities.
The Westgate Mall terror attack also triggered a back and forth between the National Intelligence Service and other security agencies on whether intelligence information had been shared prior to the attack, a matter that, according to experts, can be handled directly by President Uhuru Kenyatta through the Office of Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service that he created on Thursday and handed to former Treasury PS Joseph Kinyua.
That should be such a strong office that the president should delegate some of his security issues to be handled by that office. Then that office briefs the president. So that if somebody comes and say, we gave information and it was not acted on, then the office to be held responsible is that office in the president's executive office.
Francis Gachuri, Citizen Live at 9.
That's what I'm saying, yes.